What is up, everybody? It is John here, back with another director's cut. And this has been one of my most requested, um, series of videos, rather. This is the first video I ever did inside of the Brushy Mountain State Prison. You'll see I'm here with James the Fam and Tim from Breaking the Shell. Now, you guys will have to cut me some slack. It's been over 2 years since we filmed this. The thing is, I haven't seen this in almost that much time, so there's going to be a lot of memory road here for me, but I'm going to do my best here. And this is almost a 40-minute video, so I got to try to talk throughout this whole thing. But first thing I'll say is, if you haven't seen the original video, you should go see it. The link is in the description below. At this point in time, Brushy hadn't really opened to the public yet. Well, they definitely hadn't. They were still working. They're just starting to work on getting this place suitable for tourists. And you'll see, excuse me, guys, I've been sick. I got a little fried. You'll see that there's a lot of disrepair. And as time went on, in my more recent videos here, you'll see that it's not, they've cleaned it up a lot. But it was really cool to get to go in here and kind of see this place in its raw form, in the decaying form that it was in. You can just see, vines overtaking everything. They have since cleared all this out. This building here, which is D block, has significantly gotten cleaned up. To the point of even the bottom floor is now open for people to go and explore, to the general public. At this time, it was really moldy, leaked a lot, and just it stunk really bad. And here we are inside D block. You can just see all the peeling paint, the mold all over the place. This has all been cleaned up pretty well. To the point where, it's okay for people to actually enter the building. At this time when we were there, sorry guys, I keep having to clear my throat. I apologize. But this building here, by far, in my opinion, is the most haunted place at Brushy Mountain. The tales say there was a lot of unnecessary, I can't say executions because they weren't official, but there were a lot of beatings inside this building. They said a lot of the inmates were beaten to death inside these walls. I can believe it. This is a place that, it was called Into the Line for a reason. And it was the last resort for prisoners. You can just see the decay here. It has a beauty to it. I kind of miss doing some of the abandoned places I used to do. Unfortunately, there's just too much legal ramifications anymore. I don't really do them, but man, I miss going to these places and seeing the beauty of decay. I mean, there is a beauty to it it's just amazing. Now, this is the room where they actually had an electric chair at one point. They say it was never used here. I don't know why there'd be a viewing window and all this stuff set up if they didn't use it. There's a lot of shady things going on here. You just see right here looking through that window like that. That will be where the witnesses would stand and watch the execution, if it in fact was to take place. Fun fact is, the chair nicknamed Sparky from Tennessee State Prison was here originally. Now, this is the room where they said they would take some of these guys and ruthlessly beat them, usually to death. Definitely had a vibe in it, but the upstairs is where I really, really felt uncomfortable. I had an experience here, a different occasion I was here, and I walked upstairs alone, and it was just absolutely horrifying. And I'm pretty sure I was alone right here. This was, Yeah, this is the first night we were there. We spent the night. I filmed a 3 a.m. challenge during this night too, which I will record a director's cut and release it in a couple of days. Now, I did enjoy the Dale Earnhardt serving tray there. And at this point here in the video, I remember this vividly. You can hear cell doors closing, and you can hear heavy footsteps coming from above. And I believe this is what triggered me to want to go upstairs and take a look. But if I'm not mistaken, it was really flooded up there. And I didn't really enter into the cell block. I don't think. It's been a while. Like I said, guys, it's been over 2 years. I've been to this place so many times. But I wanted to do a director's cut of the original. The first time I stepped into these walls. When this place was still raw. Still hadn't really been cleaned up and able to open to the public. But yeah, I was standing here and you could just hear like these heavy footsteps coming from up above. And I remember doing this on my own, but for the life of me, I cannot remember where Tim and James had went to. I don't know. Here's where I go upstairs. I'm still using Movie Maker at this time, so you saw a lot of fade in, fade out type transitions, which now that I look back, I really hate. It's literally the only option I had to make a clean transition because Movie Maker was like, it couldn't handle the file size of this camera. So when it would transition to a scene, if I didn't place a transition in there, it would just like freeze for a second and then come back. So yeah, here's going into the cell block upstairs. And this is still closed off. They actually deemed this to be a fairly dangerous area because of the activity in here. Okay, yeah, that's the moment. Okay. At that point in time, you see the camera's all blurry and I'm getting out. That's when I hit my panic attack. I thought it was a different occasion, but this was definitely it. You can see I'm just all out of sorts. I'm trying to find my way out. That was when something came over me. I stood there in that threshold and it was just like something overcame me and I panicked. I couldn't breathe. I started feeling dizzy, lightheaded, and I just had to get out of there. Oh, I love that old fire truck. And here's me explaining. I mean, that was probably the most weirded out, like just overcoming feeling I've ever had was then. And that's the D block building right there to the right. Just to the right where I'm standing is where that Dale Earnhardt tray was. To the left is the main prison. The floor, second floor above me there, to the left where you see those windows, that's the cafeteria. And we have, on the 3M challenge, a pretty significant experience. Now, this is a building that's completely closed off, and this is a much more modern building here. This is what's called Hymax security, Hymax prison. It was up on the hill, and this was the maximum security where the really bad people were kept. This was built in the 80s, and it's the most modern building on the property. And you can see the sinks, everything is just more up to date. And it has that octagon shape that's more familiar with prisons now. Yeah, these guys were kind of kept separated from the rest. And up to 2009, this place was just full of criminals. Now, they built a new prison. You know, it's not that it just completely closed down. They built a much more modern, state-of-the-art prison. Not too far from here, actually. Still is kind of up against a mountain like this one was. But a fun fact about Brushy is it's the only prison in the world with only 3 walls. The 4th wall is a mountain, which I thought was very interesting. This is kind of like the hub, the center part between all the... There's 4 of these sections, as you see here as I walk in. Look at that old camera housing. Like you see this like kind of octagon or maybe hexagon shaped room here. There's 4 of them in the Hymax building like this. And I don't know if I pan up. These were a bunch of showers. They had removed all the little shower stalls from each cell unit, and they were just kind of in the middle of this one. But there was like this little guard room that overlooked all of them. You could get up in it. I think we got in there on this one. And it was kind of neat to see that. This is a point here when I was looking for Tim. I don't know if it's in the video or not. I doubt it is. But I found him just sitting in a cell looking extremely creepy. It was weird. Yeah, there's Tim there and James. We were just all kind of just dumbfounded how awesome this place is. I definitely want to go back some more. Jamie and all them at Brush has always been so nice, so awesome, letting us come and film and be a part of this place. I enjoy Brushy a lot. Sorry guys, this is a product of trying to talk for 40 minutes. But here we are in the old cell block building. This is it's not the original. Now, Brushy was built in 1894, I want to say. The original building was made of wood. So what they did is over the next several years, the prisoners mined the limestone and built this prison. It was all built out of prisoner labor. So it's pretty wild that the prisoners built the very building that would encompass them. I mean, it's pretty weird. You'd think they'd try to make some kind of escape plan or something, but I'm sure they were supervised pretty heavily. I can't remember if we did the cigarette thing in this one or if it was just the 3 a.m. But if any of y'all remember the cigarette deal, it's pretty wild. But here we are just exploring the cell blocks. You'll see throughout. I missed some of the best ones, I think, on this video, but there was some really good prisoner art on the walls. You imagine there's some dirty magazine pictures they'd had hanging up. It's amazing they were able to get those and keep them hung up, but they did. Some of them drew some pretty outstanding pieces of art. There's a little skyline of Knoxville, South Knoxville. There's evil looking Garfield. And we're heading down the stairs here. There's each cell block had its own little 3-person shower before you'd enter the cell block. And you can just see it's a very old style. Now the caging to the left, the reason it's there is because of suicide/murders. People would either jump off of the balconies to commit suicide or they were thrown. I mean, more popular belief is a lot of times they were thrown. If somebody had a vendetta with them, they'd just toss them over and they'd fall to their death. Actually happened a lot. And, they had to, it was such a problem, they had to reinforce it to where people couldn't jump. The craziest thing is the walkway for the guards was so close to the cells, it was easy to be shanked. Prisoners would be able to easily reach you and grab you and stab you or try to do anything really bad. Now, this room here was the auditorium. Of course, it has been kind of converted over time to not be so much of an auditorium. This place, I can't even go in there by myself anymore. There's such an evil presence in here. It's just not something I want to be in alone. Now that water fountain you see over against the wall, um, one of the more famous murders that happened here was the prisoners were in here watching a movie, and somebody they considered a rat was gutted. They split him open, and he laid there, and no one would help him because the guards would leave the room, and he laid there and bled out and died right by that water fountain. He was getting him a drink. Somebody came up behind him and got him. Um, but yeah, this room here is just it's something dark. I went in there by myself last time I was there, and I made a beeline out. It was not fun. But I remember being very cold this night, and Tim's pointing at somebody writing in the dust. Yeah, we kept hearing some strange noises coming from that little room over there. I think it was probably water drippage, but who knows? I remembered it snowed that night we was there. It come a heck of a snow. It didn't really stick or anything, but it's coming down pretty hard. Um, there was other people here. There was a big group that came to this. I think I released a different video where I kind of feature a lot of people. We wound up staying the whole night. I don't know what happened there, if there was a glitch or what. That was weird. But anyways, this is the hospital part. This is where, people will be treated, and a lot of people died in this area. A lot of people. I think the most deaths were in this area. And eventually, I believe, leads to the visitation. Yeah, I remember there's a young man there, come running out of the prison and thought someone was sleeping underneath it, thought there was a body under it. He was freaking out. That piece of cloth that was laying there. So I saw it, and I'm like, I got to check this out. Here we are going down another cell block. You just look at how close you'd have to walk to the cells. I imagine the guards had to really be on guard, no pun intended, with their own safety. Of course, there was the incident where the prisoners got a hold of a gun and held guards hostage while they shot other inmates. Had a lot to do with race. Won't really go into it. Y'all kind of know the story. They shot every African American man that was in there and killed 2. And that's where the smoking ghost comes from. Is this where we go on the roof? Yeah. This was actually pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of built like a castle. You see when we get up top. Now I've been to the Joliet State Prison in Illinois, right outside Chicago, and it's much more grand, especially the main part of the prison. But Brushy just has this vibe to it that just makes it ultra creepy. And yeah, there were still people here at this point. We look down, and I think that's Jacob the carpetbagger I zoom in on out there in his car, because he was joining us that night. And yep, there he is. They're wandering around, wondering what we're doing on the roof. And the funny thing is, we found out afterwards from Jamie, like, we were not supposed to be up there. That was an off-limits place. Now, to our defense, we didn't ask, they didn't tell, but, we probably should have asked before we went to the roof. But I got to stand up there. It's pretty cool. It looks neat. I mean, it looks very castle-like. And here goes Tim climbing up a ladder to another part. You know me, guys. I don't do much dangerous things like that. So I let him do it. Tim likes to do the dangerous stuff. I just kind of watch him and tell everybody, hey, go watch his video. You want to see Tim do something stupid. But at this point, I'd had enough of the roof and decided it's time to go back. Oh, no, I'm still up there. This is like a machine room here of some sort. But yeah, eventually I'm like, okay, enough of the roof. Let's go back into the prison. And here we are wandering around back into the hospital. Every time I go to this place, I learn something new. Last time I went, I learned about a spirit that hung around here in the hospital part, and we actually was able to like make some pretty compelling contact and talk. It seemed like with this, but yeah, there's a locked door, and I really enjoyed this experience. This was such a cool experience. This was one of the first times I was able to be somewhere and not had to like be sneaky. And, we had full permission. We actually paid a lot of money to be able to do this the first time. Since then, we've all become friends with the people that run it, Jamie and the girls, and it's nice, being able to go somewhere like this. Now here we go. Which way am I going? I'm probably hearing noises. There we go, into the cafeteria. This is one of the most famous areas for being haunted. Plus, you have all these paintings done by an inmate by the name of Tim Cross. And he is, he served his time. He's a free man now. They made attempts to see if he wanted to come touch these up. He's not really showed a whole lot of interest. I guess, some people, they like to come back and think about the memories, but then I guess it's very feasible sometimes you don't want to relive those moments. So you just, you serve your time, you're done, and that's it. On the 3 a.m. challenge video, we caught a shadow figure. This video, we're just kind of exploring around, looking at everything, because there's more people here. Once everyone leaves and it's just the 3 of us, that's when we start doing the paranormal investigating, and that's when things get real. I mean, I stand in essentially where I'm at now, right there, but I'm looking back at the columns, and there's a shadow figure that comes duck walking between 2 of the columns, and yeah, it's back in the back there. You don't see it in this video. It's, of course, the 3 a.m. challenge one. But I'm going to do a director's cut, and I'm going to throw an edit in there to highlight that for you guys, because that was one of the most compelling pieces of evidence I've ever caught. And that was the first time I caught an actual apparition, like a full-body apparition. A lot of people do these kind of videos, and they'll dress people in morph suits, and they'll tie fishing line to stuff. That's not my game. I don't capture amazing paranormal evidence every video. That's the reality of it. But, it's just one of them things. There's a lot of people who, they want to get the clicks, and they'll do what it takes. When I'm doing a paranormal investigation, I want it to be legit. And that door actually shut behind me. I don't know if I grazed it and jarred it loose or what, but that unnerved me quite a bit. But one thing about Brush he had over Joliet is it was structurally sound. The Joliet State Prison is very unstructurally sound. It sucked. I mean, it was a beautiful place, and I was so thankful I got to explore it. But man, that main building, I can't believe they let people in there. I really can't. That blew my mind. And when you're walking around that attic concrete floor and the whole floor bounces, that's not natural. I couldn't handle being up there. I had to get out. And here we are exploring some more cells. There's tons of cells here. But truly a cool experience. It's the first time I got to be in somewhere like this. This was like exploring the college buildings that we did. Me and Jacob, we explored Morristown and Knoxville College, both which were abandoned. Morristown College has been tore down, and they're building a park. Knoxville College is still just kind of sitting there. They keep saying they're going to open up and build and open the college back up. There's a picture of James Earl Ray sitting by that window. It looks like a whole different room. And when Adam the Woo was here, we was trying to find the exact location, and we couldn't really line it up. But that back wall I briefly pointed at has like a small window and like a little cage. And when you get up close, you can see where they added cinder block into that area. It used to be a lot more open area with a bigger cell cage over it to transport people from the office into the prison visitation center without, it was a security measure. So they made that smaller. And when you line the pictures up now and knowing that, you can definitely tell. They used to be a drop ceiling in there that's not there now. So after some careful looking, it was tough to line it up, but once I did, last time I was there, I was able to figure out that that's actually where the photo was. Adam was trying to figure out why he's here. But, oh God, somebody had used the toilet in there. I remember that. They needed some of John's toilet spray is what they needed. They sure did. Oh, look, some more pinups. Those aren't even good pinups. They just, never mind. I ain't gonna say anything. But, man, this place is so big. And this is a long video, guys. I'm trying to just talk about this as much as I can, but there's only so much you can say. So, I mean, if you're still here, geez, what can you comment down below? Buttercup. Yeah, just comment Buttercup if you're still watching this. This is 27 minutes into it. If you're still here, hats off to you and thank you for all this watch time. Here we go, out in the prison yard. Well, that was very brief. Okay, yeah, we're going to James Earl Ray cell here. I can tell by that corner. So yeah, the famous murderer, the assassin who killed Martin Luther King Jr. was prisoned here. Another recent video I did on my main channel about Thomas Zuman Husky, he was in the cell right beside, but they weren't here at the same time. So it wasn't like it was James Earl Ray and then Thomas Husky right next to him. It was a whole different time. But this was James Earl Ray cell. The end one was James Earl or Zuman Husky, and the left side of his cell was a serial killer they called Trucker, who is the interstate trucker serial killer. So that's, and he was and James Earl Ray was in multiple cells, but this was the last one he was in before he left here. And yeah, that's how you'd flush the toilet. But oh yeah, Tim or James once shut the cell door on me. Being funny. That was Tim. Mr. Shell. And James was in the cell with me. I didn't even realize he was in there. This month that we're going to go back in time. I was still very new at YouTube. I've been doing it a year, but my channel was somewhere around like 15,000 subscribers. And I just remember James hit me up, said, "Hey, I'm coming to town for a while." And me, him, and Tim spent about a month just filming everything. And you know what? Looking back on that was some good times. I don't know how we did it. I worked full time. Tim worked full time. And we filmed every single night. We would drive somewhere. We actually went on a road trip and filmed 4 videos in 3 states in one night. Now tell me how someone has the energy and the time to do that. But we did. And man, it was something else. That was, I wish it would become that fun again. Now it's, you got to be mindful of the revenue, and there's just so much pressure doing this and keeping it, it just needs to be fun again. And that's something I'm really working towards, is just making this fun. And, I had a lot of fun. I still have a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. But there's just a lot of other things that, you have to keep up with. But anyways, we're in the hole now. This was when you were really bad, they stuck you here in isolation for a while. And above us was the church, the chapel, and the laundry room, which I'm pretty sure we get to here shortly. But these were tiny little rooms, and it's amazing they put 2 people in solitary. That's kind of defeats the purpose, but maybe they did. Maybe they just put one in there and they could choose top or bottom. I don't know. But they said this was, this place I never got too many vibes. Now, me and Tim was standing in here at one point later on, not this time. And we had some of the brushy girls in there. And this is one where I actually caught a shadow figure again. But me and Tim heard a man's voice, like, in our ear. It was like it was between us. And he said something. It sounded like an older man. And that's what they say. There's like an older man spirit that is in the hole. This is where we go into the laundry. And if you can hear an engine, I'm in a closet in the middle of my house, and there's some redneck letting everybody know his car is loud. Speaking of that, it's not impressive to make a piece of crap loud. You know what I mean? Like these dudes have these little cars, these little 4-cylinders, and they put like an 18-inch pipe on it and make it really loud. But it's not impressive, being loud, like a car growling, like, a classic, like sports car, like, you got an old Nova or a Chevelle, that kind of muscle car. Yeah, it sounds good because, the engine actually has power. Nothing like a car that sounds like a pissed off bumblebee. I don't know. Maybe I'm ranting on something that don't matter, but here we are in a guard tower. So dark you couldn't see anything out past it, but you can see the wall there with the razor wire still on it. The guards had their own bathroom up there and little sink. There's actually a funny story. There's a guard at one point. He was practicing his quick draw. I guess he thought he was Barney Fife. He's up there practicing a quick draw and actually fired a bullet off inside the guard tower. Now, back in, they had to account for every piece of ammo they had. And it was a big deal. Like I think it either cost him his job or nearly cost him his job. I can't say for sure. Tennessee Matt told the story really well in his video. And you should go check his out of this place. Honestly, you just go check out Tennessee Matt. I mean, he's just such a cool dude. Such a nice guy. So you should really go watch his channel. But you're not allowed on the guard towers anymore. So we got the unique experience of being able to do that. Of course, we're not at the end yet. I don't even know what I'm talking about here. I look excited. And am I eating something while I'm talking? That's what it looks like. I don't know. Oh, this is weird. I'm sure if I could hear what I was saying, I'd know. Okay, yeah, this is a point where I'm explaining, hey, it's 3 a.m. We're going to now film a separate 3 a.m. challenge. And that's what we did. It got really late. So, yeah, we're preparing to go. Oh, yeah, we slept in the cells. That's right. I can't remember which cells we slept in. I think we slept in James Earl Ray's cell, if I'm not mistaken. I know Tim and I went back for crap. What am I trying to think of? For Easter, and got to spend the night in here. We actually made us a little bunk and slept in the cells for a while. Very uncomfortable, just like we did here. But see, then we went back on Easter. We was able to like make a bed. This time we hadn't planned on it. We kind of snuck back in. We had permission, but we didn't at the same time. They're like, yeah, if you want to, go ahead, but don't let the big people catch you or whatever. So we did. We snuck back in. We went and spent the night in the cell. It was crazy. Like, couldn't sleep. I mean, I don't know if I even slept any at all when we did this, but I know it was cold and very hard. So we went upstairs here. So we didn't sleep in. It was me and Tim when we came back. We slept in James Earl Ray's cell. I think he slept top bunk. I slept second, or maybe we slept in the cells next to each other. I can't remember for sure. But I know this one. This was my cell. We all picked a separate cell, and yeah, we kind of just spent the rest of the night. Remember, James farted really loud. It was funny. So all I had was that backpack. I used it as a pillow, and it's just full of hard equipment. but yeah. There's me showing where everybody else is sleeping. But you know what, guys? I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know it's a lot of me talking. This is a long video, but this series has been the most requested. So I figured I'd do a stay in the night, overnight, and then next will be the 3 a.m. challenge, where we actually the part before this here when we filmed the 3 a.m. challenge, and all that. So, and that's going to be a good one because a lot of crazy stuff happened during that video. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Here's me trying to get comfortable. Didn't work. I mean, it was so uncomfortable. The other camera I left rolling didn't work. And, oh, this is funny. It was morning. I forgot I did this. I scared everybody. Or no. James scared us. That's what it was. I had finally dozed off about the time he got up and scared the living daylights out of us. We were hearing a bunch of weird sounds. But yeah, we actually spent the entire night in this place. But anyways, yeah. So this is nearing the end, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. I enjoy doing these. Guys, let me know what you think. Next video is going to be the 3 a.m. challenge. That video will be coming out in a couple days. It'll be us when we did the 3 a.m. challenge here at Brushy. I hope you are excited. I hope you watch it. It's going to be good. But that's really it. We're winding down the seconds, and I'm saying stuff to fill time. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope y'all have a great day. Peace.